And on that note, welcome to Sofa City Sounds. It's Thursday. We're live. Would you two lovely gentlemen please introduce yourselves?
I am Bowden, lead singer and kind of the band, Alterna.
I am Barry or a Jimmy Blue Shirt or Aiden, drummer for Alterna.
Cool. Right on. And where are you guys from?
Ottawa.
Yeah, Ottawa.
Right on. Right on. That's a little further than I usually interview. This is cool. I'm excited about it.
Bowden,
It's
I think
fun.
we should default to you talking first every time.
Did you
Me or
catch
you,
that?
Barry?
What?
Me or you?
You talk first every time she asks a question. You
Perfect.
go first, okay?
But what if it's directed at you?
Okay, well then he can just like relay it back to me. He can just,
Oh, you guys are going to be a fun fucking interview. This is going to be great. So, how many of you are there in total? Who are we missing?
Well, as of now, I can't even tell you who's exactly in the band, but I could tell you the three guys that are always there on stage is me, Barry, and Brandon. And sadly, Barry will not be with us on Saturday.
Oh, well, that's shitty. Well, that's cool that I get to meet you now.
yes.
Right
He
He
will
on.
be
will
at
be
the
there
next
the next
one.
one. Yeah, the next Welland show I'll be playing.
Sweet. That's awesome. You guys are coming all the way down from Ottawa to play here on Saturday.
Yeah.
You guys are playing Bland's Boxing Club. I've never been there before,
I've
ever.
never heard of a boxing ring as a stage before either, but I'm excited.
Pretty badass.
Well, Al McCready had reached out to me. I guess Ivy from Iron Moose had told him to get a hold of me, and we just started going back and forth. And he was like, "I got this place, and we got these shows, and so yeah, and like I just jumped right on it. I was super excited. I was like, send me your bands for interviews, whatever it is you need, advertising, sharing, posters, on our website, whatever.
He's
But
been really good to us too. Like, he asked us and we said like, of course we'll play these shows. And then right off the bat he was like, cool, I got you an interview. Uh Want to open for Brutal Play in August? And I was like, I mean Brutal Youth, and I was like, holy shit. Yeah.
we don't fuck around down here.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, he definitely stepped up as a promoter for sure.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
know it's his like first time doing that sort of thing. So I'm like, man, if this is step one, then sky is really the limit.
Well, yeah, and when I met him, like I thought he had been doing it far longer than he had.
Me too.
Right. So, and he was just like, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm doing things.
Yeah.
And like, okay, how can I help you? Like, what
Yeah.
you're doing it all. How, like, what do you need me to do? Because you're
Yeah.
doing, like, he's a one man stop, you know?
He is working with his son. I believe his son was the one that came up with the idea of this whole concert series.
Yes.
And he's 16.
Yeah.
And I remember being 16 and like that was when I first started playing shows.
I don't remember 16, but that's okay.
That's okay.
16 was
Sometimes
just last
that's okay.
My 16th birthday was a case of Mike's Hard Lemonade and 5 of my friends in a hotel room, and that's all I can tell you because that's all I fucking remember.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, I never drank Mike's Hard Lemonade after that shit.
Nice.
Well, yeah, and the 16-year-olds now are built different. Their brains are way far driven beyond ours.
I was
I don't know
isolated.
if I would say that, but sure.
Well, no, I mean, my daughter's 13 years old, and she's already recording. Like, she's already professionally recording.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for
So, and like the ideas. Oh, just give me 1 second. The dog has clearly done her dinner.
her.
Oh, got any good jokes while I'm gone?
Nope, not on the spot.
Not on the spot.
No.
No, I'm pretty
You
good
guys
on the
missed it.
spot, but I'm not
Yeah.
on stage, so I don't.
You guys missed it. I just did a killer throw of my can into the garbage. I just did it so casually. It was like, that's the most athletic I've ever been in my entire life.
That's pretty cool.
I love how you guys just kept it going with Ramble the entire time I ran out there.
Oh,
That was
it's
fantastic.
We know how to keep the show moving.
Well, she's only 9 months old. 2 weeks ago, I was super excited because we were in our brand new office, and my partner for the radio station has the keys to the office, and he's at work. So I once again am at home behind the computer.
nice.
So yeah, not ideal. Come on, dog.
You should just bring him on the show.
She she thinks she's a lap dog. She's a bull mastiff. So she's
I have a
8
lap
pounds.
dog. I have a lap dog that thinks it's a bull mastiff. I have
Little dog syndrome, or I guess big dog syndrome.
dogs.
Yeah, Aura thinks that she's a tiny dog, and she's not. Like her head reaches the kitchen table.
Yeah.
So nothing is safe with her. She's trying to figure out a way to get into the behind my desk right now. So so I apologize again to you and everybody for the interruptions because I was supposed to be at home for this or at the office for this.
Can't be as loud as a.
So what do you guys have? What? I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, don't worry about it.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, do not worry about
You
it.
guys have something to talk about while I figure out what to do?
Yeah, we've been talking about all sorts of stuff.
We can totally talk about all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Any Ottawa people around, we're playing Algonquin on the 11th.
Oh yeah, we're doing that.
Unannounced, but we are playing at Algonquin, which is stoked. Like, I'm stoked. I don't know if you are.
That's April, right?
Yeah, we're opening for Alana Sterling.
I am very stoked. Who's that again?
Complicit singer.
Oh yeah, cool. That's
Yeah,
super
man.
cool.
That's awesome.
We're stoked for that one. It's our first like big show.
That's really cool.
That's our
We need
first
a
big
bass
one.
player.
No,
We
that's
need a bass player for that.
and where is that show? Would you know what the venue is called?
The Algonquin College.
Cool.
So that's in Ottawa. But that's our first time we got asked to play a show that was like on the big stage, you know? And we're pretty excited for it.
That's really cool.
Tickets go on sale this weekend.
So, you mentioned that you had a little one on the way. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Stop. Do you mind me asking how old you guys are? Because you look like you're relatively young.
Yeah, I am pretty young. I'm 19,
Cool.
and my girlfriend will be 20 in May.
That's awesome. My nephew was 19 when he had his daughter. So
Yeah.
that's right on that you guys are growing up together.
We're excited. I
Yeah.
mean, it's fresh, and I mean, we're pretty fresh. Barry met my girlfriend when the band started 5 months ago.
I'm 17, by the way. I'm not of legal age.
All right, I'll remember to bracelet you when I'm working the door at our show.
Oh, don't even worry. We've been kicked out of venues after shows.
Because of me.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
the venues that we're working down here are all ages, and we don't get kicked out until the show's over.
Which
Yeah,
is
we gotta
pretty
move
awesome.
around. Yeah.
So, yeah, no, that's awesome. So, no, that's cool though. It's nice to see that our music scene is as heavy and as brutal and as punk and as unique and obscure as it is at the ages you guys are.
Well, I mean, we got lots to talk about, right?
Yeah.
There's I mean, punk rock music is, to me at least, it's not a sound, it's more of a message.
Yeah.
And the message that is delivered in punk is typically a rebellion on something.
Yeah.
So for us, it's like as young guys, there's so much we could talk about what's going on, right?
What's it like being your ages growing up in this world?
I hate this town. I hate my mom. I hate my dad. I'm joking. I don't hate any of those things, actually. It's what we want people to think.
It's a little fucky wucky for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting world. We certainly don't know um, what we're raising or what kind of world we're raising our children for now, and like what kind of world you guys as young adults are working towards.
A family of 6 was just murdered right where I grew up.
Oh
So
my god.
like
Sorry to hear
we're pretty shook up still about that.
Yeah, that was prominent down here on the.
Our guitar player lives next door to where it happened, and I grew up in that neighborhood, right? So it's still a little shocking. So
Oh, I'm
I
so
mean,
sorry to hear that. It's amazing the things that are going on. We just had a human trafficking spot
that is
burnt
cool.
down here in Welland. It was burnt to the ground, which
Wow.
was absolutely amazing that it was burnt down, but it's unfortunate the reason that it was there.
Yeah.
So I don't know what is going on with you, but you really got to stop this.
Yeah, dog.
This is why I have an office.
Is he locked out, or is there no way to keep him out?
Well, so we have a relatively large apartment, and that's why we were fortunate enough to be able to have her.
Wow.
And anyway, that's why we were fortunate enough to be able to get her.
Yeah.
So, but she has a crate. She goes in and she has a small room, and she can see me from both of those spaces.
Oh yeah.
So what I'm going to try to do is switch over to my telephone while we're doing this interview, and then I'm going to go sit in the hallway where it's nice and quiet, and we're going to finish this properly.
Cool.
I hate to say it, I actually have to go like right now, or like somebody's gonna yell at me from my work probably. So,
Well, thank you. Tell your boss thank you for paying you for a few extra minutes to talk to us.
I will. Yes. Goodbye.
Have a good one.
Later, dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Funny guy.
I can't believe how young you guys are.
We're well, I'm not. Our oldest is 20, turning 22 soon.
Right on.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the music scene in Ottawa since I was like 15, I think. It's been a wild ride so far.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I mean,
That is. I started. I mean, I've always loved music.
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna close.
There we go.
I think it worked.
Sure did.
Ah! I've never done that before. All right, well, I'm gonna bring my mug of coffee and we're gonna go sit in the hallway and finish this
There you go.
interview. I'm really sorry, guys.
I'm
Like
outside
everybody
because
that
I
watches
live-
and to you guys, like I am really, really sorry.
Do not be sorry at all. I'm outside because I live with so many people.
Well, this is where we're gonna do this because the show must go on.
Okie dokie.
Whether the dog is barking or not, the show must go on.
As always.
So that being said, I have 24% on my phone to get through this.
I might be at the same. So there we go.
Okay, well, now that it's quiet, what do you guys have for music? What albums? Do you have any albums out yet?
Yeah, we have a EP that me and past, I'll say, coworker wrote in my apartment. After all that went down, I released all that music that we recorded together, and then we released a couple other tunes on Spotify, Apple, all that fun stuff. So we've got an EP, an extra 2 singles in one. That's pretty much it.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. You guys are so young and you're doing so well so quickly. And you guys are already traveling to Southern Ontario from Ottawa.
We're excited.
That's so cool.
We're excited.
Right.
If there's a will, there's a way. That's all it is, really.
Yeah. I was watching friends of mine do a taping of an interview last weekend,
Oh yeah.
and there's a band called Piss Rug that is opening for War Machine on Saturday. They actually go by Zephyr Diode, I believe, is what they go by.
Okay.
But their good name is Piss Rug on Saturday. I hope I'm getting this right.
Piss Rug. Nice.
I had no idea that they were from around here.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I got to see an interview with these kids who I didn't know I was going to be meeting on Saturday night at the
Wow.
War Machine show, which is going to be cool.
That's gonna be
So
cool.
hopefully I'll get to swing in and see you guys too.
Yeah.
So Bland's Boxing Club.
Yep.
2 p.m. the doors open, I believe.
I think so.
Right on. Your sound guy is Damien. He's fantastic.
Damien, and he's fantastic. Well, I'll be sure
Yeah.
to buy Damien to wait. It's an all ages venue, eh?
It is.
There are no beers.
I'm not sure if this one is alcohol free. I do remember Al saying that there was going to be a couple of alcohol free events to see how it went.
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe that if they don't have if they're alcohol free now, I believe they will have alcohol at future events.
Okay. Okay.
So I think they're doing a trial, because I mean,
Hey,
everybody needs to be included in these shows, and we got to figure out how to make it comfortable, right?
I can't even begin to tell you the amount of times we've lacked on maybe not this band, but other bands I've been in, like, lacked because of my age, and all the people that want to come out and see the shows are too young.
Mm-hmm.
You're 15 playing in a bar to people that don't talk to kids, so
Yeah.
it's like it's definitely tough when you're younger to get to shows, and we're lucky enough to have a couple cool all ages venues like the Brass Monkey and Live on Elgin, but I mean, other than that, it's all get the best fake you can, and
you can still pull that shit off. I thought that ended in the late 90s.
Sure can. It's actually it's not as easy as it used to be because of photo ID, but it is still doable. It is
right
still
on.
doable.
I'm 22 years beyond getting ID. So
I'm fresh. I'm fresh.
Cherish it while it still happens.
Exactly.
Cherish it while it still happens.
Yeah.
So I have to say, I really do apologize for all the hiccups and distractions and everything, but you certainly are one of the most comfortable interviews I've done. I am absolutely enjoying it.
Oh, that's good. I appreciate that. Like, we try to be pretty easy. I mean, our live setting is a lot different than what we are in person. I guess meeting me, I've had people say, like, meeting you, you're this normal guy, and then after seeing you guys live, I ask who hurt you.
I love it.
That's one I get a lot. We were in the studio on the weekend, and I walked out of the studio room, and the guy that runs our studio was like, are you the singer of this band? And I said, well, yeah. And he's like, what happened? Like, what happened in your life? Like,
yeah.
Nothing, man. I just like music.
Yeah. No, that's fucking cool. That's good. I'm so excited to see you guys.
We're so
it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good show. If I don't make it out, I hope you guys have a fucking blast.
We always will.
Welland is a great town. It is. Everybody makes fun of Welland, but it's one of my favorite places to be. It's beautiful. And it's like the original capital of Canada.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
So, and like the houses, some of the houses out in like the older part of Welland are just their architecture is insane.
Wow,
that's cool. It's really nice. The bridge out the Welland Bridge is beautiful.
Yeah, we're gonna be chilling in Belleville, the night before the show. That's where we're crashing. We're gonna sleep at Grandma's house and
cool.
Get a nice breakfast before we head to Welland, because we do have to pass through Toronto to get there. So it will be quite a drive, but we're more than excited. Like, it's our first out of town show with this band. We've only played live 3 times.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, this is gonna be our fourth live show.
That's so cool. That's so good. Just a tip for driving through Toronto. Once you get to Toronto, it takes another hour to get to Toronto.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Like, I know. I just hope that you guys don't hit a traffic jam and it's smooth sailing because I know you're going to be thinking about this conversation.
We're leaving first thing in the morning on Saturday. So
Right. Oh, yeah.
we'll be
You know
there.
what? You guys will be in Belleville so like it won't be that bad to get to the Niagara region.
No, it shouldn't be bad at all. It'll be all right.
So
All right.
where else in Canada have you been?
For music or
Or just in general?
New Brunswick, Hamilton. That's about it.
Cool.
This is a pretty new thing for me. Hey, sorry, I'm just gonna grab a phone charger, babe. Do you
Yeah,
have one?
absolutely.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I'm just gonna run into Jonah's room real quick. I'll be in there for a while. Oh, sorry. Meet my girlfriend. This is Tegan.
Hi. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Alrighty. We are good to go now.
Right on.
Phone is
Awesome.
charging.
That's cool. No, you know what? I'm happy our interview is going the way it is.
Easy. It's easy to get comfortable that way, and the funky business that gets in the way, gives you time to warm up, and there's never.
That's why I do it this way. That's why I don't plan anything. I don't write anything down. At the end of the interview, I want to be happy with how it went, no matter how it went. And sometimes there's distractions, sometimes there's hiccups. Sometimes it's a great interview, sometimes it's a terrible interview. They're all learning curves, but at the end of the day, I don't feel like I beat myself up as much as I would if I was like, okay, I have to ask this question. I need to get this question out. We have this much time. And no.
You're also interviewing bands you've never met before, right? Which is also really helpful. Yep. So, I mean, that's cool.
Well, and like, I mean, I'm good at making it awkward. So it's only right that I trip over my own shoes, so to speak, when it comes to issues with the dog or, the kids walking in. It just, like, I try to make everything awkward at least once when I meet people, just so we all know where we stand.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good way to find out who the right people to talk to.
That's right. Because you're either going to laugh and come over and introduce yourself, or you're going to walk away from me. And if you walk away from me, I don't want to talk to you anyway.
There you go.
So, yeah, when I met Prosector, I did the door for their show in Welland at the Bank, which is an amazing venue. Hopefully you guys can play there soon. So,
that's cool.
yeah, and I ran up the stairs and I was like, "Hi, I'm Amanda. I have ADHD. I'm unmedicated. It's great to meet you. I've got to run home, but I really want to put you guys in my book." And then I ran out the door.
That's
so
awesome.
I was once I got out, I was like, "Oh, so I hope that went well." But like,
yeah, I've got some pretty killer ADHD as well. I know what that's like, and like, I mean, it helps when you're on stage and like there's something happens and you got to distract people or do something. Yep. I mean, we always fuck up, right? We're so fresh into this. Like we don't have a bass player.
Really?
We've been raw dogging it with guitars since day
one. Good
one.
for you guys.
Our music, I think we have 2 songs that have bass guitar in it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So like I always say it's the smallest bands or the quietest guys or the don't look like they're in a band type guys that make the most fucking noise. I don't know if you've
We
ever
are
heard of
pretty
Heavy
loud.
Breather, but there's only two of them. And
Really?
and they are one of the loudest bands I have ever heard.
That's pretty killer. Despite not having a bass guitar, we are pretty
Like
heavy.
it.
We try to be at least. I mean, our guitar player Brandon is always trying to come up with like ways to make our music work without
Yeah.
bass, even though we are trying to be as heavy as possible.
Cool.
I mean, the vocal style is a lot different from the music, but sometimes it comes out. Like it's a lot of fun.
What's your
That's all it is. That's all it is.
cool? Well, and if it's fun, you keep wanting to do it, right? Like between Sofa City Sounds and now with us doing the radio station, I work probably somewhere around 60 hours a week trying to get all this going, and I'm exhausted by the end of the day, and I love it. I love it. I'm up at 6:30, 7 o'clock, and I'm like, what can I do right now?
Yeah. I'm a bit after this. I might print some TDs, take a couple tokes, and call it a night.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's one of the cool parts about living in today's world is like there's you have to be doing shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that with everything going on, everything's so expensive, but there's so like it makes every cool and good thing that much better.
Well, yeah, like I mean, we already work hard for the things that we have, and when you put that little bit of extra elbow grease into it, it feels that little bit extra when you're finished.
It feels that extra.
Yeah, it does. Extra good sounds so funny, but that's so good. Yeah, no, you're right though. That you can't say it any better than that. It gets its extra good for sure. Oh, and I'm stumbling on my words, which means I'm probably gonna start getting hyper again. So,
there we go.
well, I'm unmedicated, so I can't take chemical medication because of my blood disorder. So you used the phrase raw dogging it earlier, and that's what I do with my ADHD.
We use that word a lot.
That's good. That's good.
We're pretty much just raw dogging life as it is.
Yeah, we have no filter around here, so phrases like that are very acceptable.
That's good. That's good to know. I am a little unhinged. I try to be as appropriate as possible.
I don't try. If it happens, you guys are lucky. I'm having a good day.
Okay, awesome.
I don't think before I speak, so it's a surprise for everybody.
You know what? That's
I know, it's funny. I say that out loud, and then people are like, "Huh, that's true, eh?" Like,
yeah. No, that's a very ADHD thing. Is everything just comes out, and you're like, okay. I remember there's been a couple times where I run out on stage and scream, "How are all you horny motherfuckers doing tonight?" And as stupid and as crazy as that sounds to say to people going to a punk rock show, I mean, we've never had a problem yet.
Well, you pick something and you stick with it if it works, right?
We've said it once or twice now.
So, well, I mean, as they say in AA, you work it if it works, right? So if it works for you, you keep working with it. That's awesome. No, that's right on. You guys, I really am going to do my best to try and make it there on Saturday. You guys are a lot of fun, and I really want to experience that through your music too.
That's exciting, and we appreciate that. And if you can't make it out, we've got more shows coming.
Definitely. And
you know what I mean?
Okay, so
if you can't,
go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say if you can't make it to this one, we're opening for Brutal Youth in August, which is gonna be way more fucking loud, and there's gonna be a whole friggin' light show going on. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be another big one.
Yep, that's gonna be fun.
Anyway, as you were saying,
it's gone. Oh, I remember what I was going to ask you. What is the one ADHD trait that you notice you have more than any other trait?
Addiction.
Really? You too, eh?
Biggest one.
Wow. Yeah.
Obsession and addiction.
Pardon?
obsession and addiction.
Wow, eh? So
That's
does that play on your hyperfocus?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, do
100%.
you find ways to put that into your music?
That's all it is.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, our upbringing as a band is very. I don't know how to say this appropriately. It's pretty fucked
Yeah.
up. We have a very fucked up upbringing. I mean, this band wasn't even called Alterna when it first started, and none of the guys. It was a 2-piece. It was. I mean, like, I won't say any names because I don't have any. I'm sure that won't be allowed, but I'm more than willing to tell any stories you may have to ask. But yeah, it's a pretty wild ride from where it started to now. I mean, it was a very hate-filled and drug-addicted like household.
Yep.
It was me and this guy living together, banging out tunes, staying up doing blow. Just two dudes hanging out, doing music. Anyway,
Sounds like my teenage years.
Yeah. I mean, him and I played in a band called Innuendo back in the
Right.
day. And I played bass in that band and he was the lead singer. And, one thing leads to another. We were having a good time. Good times went too hard. We had a falling out. Anyway, I found out Buddy was homeless and called him up one day and said, fucking come live with me. We'll get back into the music. We'll have a good time as long as you get back on your feet later. Let's just work on music and get this shit going because, I don't want to keep doing this 9-to-5 shit anymore, I'm still doing the 9-to-5, but music's here.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, pretty much started with him and I. And I owe a lot of despite everything that happened, I owe a lot of his music is all credited. Everything that we did together is all credited in our bio and all that stuff. But
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I was with a wild girl at the time, and this was in October, like of 2023. Okay. So it's not too long ago. Anywho, yeah, like, her and I were dating and me and him started writing these songs and, we were pissing the neighbors off just straight up, like up every day, cranking the amps, just trying to get the next tune recorded just to have music before the end of the month because we couldn't even afford rent. So every last dime was spent on guitar strings, blow, beer, weed for the come down. All right, we're good to go. So it was like that for every day for a month. And, one day we went out to the bar and I woke up and he was in bed with my girlfriend. So it's pretty wild.
Wow.
So I kind of just said, like, we're fucked up right now. I don't know where you need to go, but you can't be here.
Right.
So anyway, I haven't talked to him in a while. I mean, we still keep in contact about music and copyright. He's doing well. So that's pretty much all I really care about at this point. But I ended up taking the songs we had in the apartment and releasing them under this band's name.
Cool.
So it's now a solo project with guys.
It sounds like it was a really humbling experience.
Yeah.
But it also sounds like I don't know, some of the greatest albums are written the way you just described. So it sounds like it was a wild adventure and it was a learning experience and it was humbling at the same time. And you made it through. And honestly, you can't ask for much more than that.
I'm lucky, right? I got out of there and started this band. I met who I'm
Yeah.
with now, and we're starting a family.
Yeah,
right?
congratulations, by the way. That's so
I-
amazing.
I've been off all the wild shit since that happened. I mean, Barry's sober. I mean, we have our beers and we have our
Yeah.
smokes and whatever, but we're you know,
Yeah, no, I
we're happy. We're
I
happy,
completely
and
I completely understand that. I have 24 years chemical free under my belt, so I can appreciate where you've been and where you're going, and you absolutely are headed in the right direction at a young age, and you're very lucky that you get to handle the experience the way you have and as young as you have, and be able to build at the age that you are. So,
that helps a
yeah.
lot. That's really good to hear. I mean, I owe everything. I owe this whole musical project to Brandon and Barry. Like I booked all these shows with Buddy in the apartment. You know, we booked tons of shows. We booked our debut, which happened on January 6th. We booked our first all ages show at Live on Elgin, which was exactly a month later. And then we had all these shows lined up, and I was stuck, and I was like, I can't have these songs out and not have a band.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up reaching out to some dudes I met at a party. I met Brandon at a party. And I knew he played guitar. Called him up, and he was like, "Oh yeah, man, like I'm totally down to do that." I mean, Brandon doesn't give a fuck. He's unemployed and smokes dope and plays the guitar for a living. You know, that's what he does. That's just his thing.
What a way to live.
You know, he's happy. He's happy, and
That's killer. And that's what you need at the end of the day. You know, the I always say the overlords that are running this universe, running the world right now, they don't give a fuck about what we're doing. So why do we give a fuck whether or not they give a fuck about what we're doing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
No.
Brandon's, I mean, put so much like musical input in this, and so is Barry. Like the two of them, man, they just get in the jam room. I'll leave for 5 minutes for a smoke, and I'll come back, and they'll have a new song, right? Like actually I have a set list sitting around right here, and our last show, here we go. Our last song of the night doesn't even have a name. It's just called Brandon's Song.
That's awesome.
You know, like dude just writes a guitar riff. Barry throws a mean breakdown on it, and we just
That's so killer. That's so cool.
Yeah. I've got lyrics that can come out of my ass, right? I just write shit for
That's
fun.
an uncomfortable spot to put them, but I get it. Nobody else will take them from there.
Exactly. I mean, I write shit for the sake of writing shit. It's just it helps ease the mind. And they come in with a heavy mean riff, and I look at these, you know, pieces of art, and I look at things I've written maybe from dark times, and I say, fuck it. Let's lay some screamo on that.
Awesome.
You know?
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to do whatever I can to make it out. And if I get the opportunity to see you guys and catch your entire set, if you're missing a set list by the time you guys are done, I probably have it.
You probably have it. Okay.
I collect
we definitely owe you one. We owe you a T-shirt.
Oh sure. No, as long as I can take your set list, I'll be very happy. But that being said about the T-shirt, I will wear your T-shirt during my interviews as well, and to shows and stuff like that. Absolutely, you guys are from out of town. You're young. You guys are good. You're humble people. You've already been through like 40-year-old experiences, and you know you're not even 20 yet. And I have a lot of respect for that. I have a lot of respect for people who go through a pile of shit before they're even old enough to walk on that, you know, walk on their own 2 feet. And like it's, you know, I have a lot of respect for that. And I can appreciate how you are taking all of that rage and that addiction and that negative growth, and you're putting it into something positive, and you're giving other people something positive to listen to. Because when we get in those pits and we get up against those rails, everything,
Need something to get pissed
it's
off.
gone. All of it. You know what I mean? All that bullshit, all the terrible days, or, you know, or shitty parents, or, you know, or rotten kids, or, you know, the
Yeah.
bus driver that
You
almost
need-
hit you because he was busy picking his nose
Yeah.
instead of watching the light. And, you know, like,
Yeah.
all of that goes away.
You need something. It may not have to be someone, but you need something to relate with. As people just need, what is it? Compassion, I guess.
Yeah, and there's
No,
not
I
a
get
lot
it.
of that left in the world.
I get it from Slipknot's Iowa album. I don't know about you, but that song "People Equals Shit." After a bad day, I could be in the worst mood possible, but like, and that song right there.
Yeah.
I mean, like the whole world changes for a minute.
Oh yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
you know someone's there, and
Yeah.
well, maybe not someone, but you know that there are people out there that have felt that way before, even though
Yeah.
you feel like you may be the only one that feels that way.
My youngest daughter's first experience with live music was Knotfest in 2019, and
I met the love of my life at Knotfest, man.
That's fucking awesome. That's
she
fantastic.
flashed Corey Taylor's tits.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Awesome.
mean, like months later, we end up catching up on social media. So
That's
there we are.
fantastic. Yeah, no. For us, it's Custer.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. When he
That's
in the
one.
beginning of the song, when him and Clown are talking, and Corey's like, "Oh, so it sounds like this," and then they go right into the
Right
song.
into this meme.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Oh,
So
Slipknot has, I mean, for me at least, greatly impacted my
Yeah.
entire life. Growing up the way I did, I'm in my brother's room, but my brother, best friend in the whole world. I mean, the way I see it is that there's not much worse than, you know, kids getting sick. Let me tell you, when my brother and I grew up, and he had childhood cancer, and so I mean that was probably, you know, despite anything I could tell you, that was the worst moment of that. That was the worst 4 years of my entire life. And I'm telling you, the only thing that can help you in that kind of moment, there's nothing that can help you there. You know, you're totally like getting fucked by Satan in a situation like that, and that's just something no one wants to feel, right? And you know, that was kind of when I discovered screamo music. Was through that period of time, and you know, it started off with it didn't even start with like rock music, you know, because I didn't really listen to it as a kid, and you know, I got into like rap music, like hip hop, and then I got into artists like Suicide Boys and Scarlord, who is like by far my favorite screamo artist. Not even close to rock and roll, just the voice. It's just the voice, and like
that's awesome.
That was what really got me into like, holy shit, there's something like I can relate to, you know?
Yeah.
And that was where I discovered nu metal, and that was where I discovered Slipknot, and they've been my number one for
That was it.
Since that day, since the first time I ever heard the song Eyeless. That's always
It was over. Yeah.
It was over. It was done from there. My mom.
Yeah.
My mom's saying her prayers now because of Slipknot. You know.
Yeah. No, for my mom it was Korn. Korn was her demise.
That's a big one.
And well, it's really dating myself since Korn just turned 30. Jesus Christ.
Oh no.
Yeah. Korn just turned 30. And I used to drive my mom crazy with them when I was, you know, I remember asking my mom for a set of Korn tickets for my 14th birthday, and she was so excited. She came home with Backstreet Boys tickets for me. Right? I know. Oh, like you want to talk about feeling teenage angst?
That was teenage angst, eh?
Right? So
Oh,
I went to the Backstreet Boys concert. I had a blast, but I was dressed in a Marilyn Manson t-shirt and black
there you
hair
go.
and my Doc Martens, and
Fuck
because
yeah.
I've been this way a long time, you know. It's not just a phase. I'm 41 and I started dressing
It's
like this
never
when I was
just a
10.
phase. It is
Nope.
never just a phase. It is once you get that drug, it's game over. And music
Yep.
is that one drug. I don't know, but like there's something about going on stage. Like this is something I tell to everyone, and they will ask me after a show. I always puke after I play.
Really?
Yeah, I always throw up.
Is that because you go so hard, or is like and the adrenaline just finally
I believe it's
settled?
the adrenaline. I believe like part of it is strained voice, but I also think that most of it is caused by adrenaline. And you know, our debut show, we go back to the Airbnb. We're having a party because you know we just played our first rock show as a band, and we've been through so much together. And you know, we were partying. We had a bunch of people over at this fucking Airbnb, and I was, you know, slumped over on the counter smoking the doobie, and someone came over to me and she said, like, how are you like chillaxed right now? And I said, dude, I just experienced 45 minutes of the most fucked up drug of all time.
Yeah.
That there is no coming up from that.
No, and it's free.
There's nothing that I could do right now that will make me feel what I just felt. I'm smoking a joint and I'm going to bed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like that every night.
And honestly, from one addict to another, there's no better drug in the universe than music.
There is none.
You know, and like, I mean, it's funny because yesterday I was on a podcast and I was talking about my experience, and we just ended up stumbling upon your experience. I don't normally ask questions like that unless you're open to,
Oh,
hey,
I'm
so
totally
this is what I
open.
did, just like you did, right? Because I'm very open. You know, drug addict, alcoholic, I did it all. You know, I've been there, I've done it all. You know, and it's very humbling to talk to other people, especially people your age, because
It's weird.
we need that. We need people in our universe that are like, you know what? There is no stigma on this. Look at the fucking world we live in.
Look at the world.
Of course somebody is messed up on drugs. Like, cut us some fucking slack, man. We're trying here.
Yep. It was I mean, and I find that the hard part about drug use is like, even though, you know, there is a huge stigma on it, you know?
Yeah.
Despite the fact that, you know, you may have people that are bad influences and people that will pressure you, not trying, of course, but into doing these things. It's like, you know, these people are also going through shit in their life, you know?
It's a symptom.
I mean, I'm sober now and I still talk to my friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not like I talk to him to you know, go out and fucking do blow. I chat with him to see how he's doing. He's off it now and he's with a girl and he's having an, you know, he's starting back up. And
he's a person just like us. He's a person.
He is just a person. He is a person.
You know, and the addiction is usually a symptom of the shit we've been through.
It is.
You know,
and that's the thing that nobody really talks about is like it's a fucked up world out there, you know? Like there is no escape if you don't have an escape, there's an easy one and it just so happens to cost $250.
Yeah.
It's easy.
You know, I remember listening to Robin Williams once, and he said that when you smoke crack, it's called freebasing, but it's not free. It costs you your fucking house.
Yeah.
And I never did crack. That was the one drug that I stayed away from. That and heroin. I never touched either one of those drugs, but I did a lot of fucking drugs. Yeah. And hearing him say that when I was 12, 13 years old, because it was a live at the Met stand-up thing, I never touched it. But I also understand it. It's like, I mean, an addiction touches every one of us, even if it's not touching us.
Doesn't have
It's
to be
in
drugs.
my family. It's in my work circle, my friendship circles. It's somebody, 1 in 2 people has an addiction to something.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's caffeine. And yes, I am chemical free, but I mean, like, I am, hard drug chemical free. Caffeine, I'm surprised that I'm not asleep, right? Because
You know what I
it
mean?
has reverse effect on me, right?
Ca-
That's like, I don't need medication. I don't need Adderall. Just give me a fucking
Caffeine.
energy drink and a pillow.
I've been drinking coffee since I was probably 10, 11 years old, right? Like, that was the one thing I could do that was like, huh, the voices are gone. Like.
Do you have a narrator?
Yes, I do have a narrator.
Is it your voice or is it somebody else's voice?
Sometimes it's my voice. It's typically my voice,
Cool.
but and sometimes it comes out audibly. Sometimes I talk to myself.
I do too.
Yeah, I talk to
I do
myself a
too.
lot.
Yeah, I answer questions out loud. I'll ask myself a question in my head and then I'll answer myself out loud. And
Yeah.
somebody will be standing next to me and I'll be like, didn't you just hear me ask myself a question? And they'll be like, no, Amanda, you didn't actually ask the question.
You just
Like now I'm thinking, now I know that we've talked about a lot, and in my head I'm thinking, did I ask him what the writing process is like for them? Or like, did I just think that I asked him and he managed to tell me what the writing process was? Because you did. Now I don't remember if I asked you the question or not, but I know that you gave me the answer.
I don't know if you asked. I just talk a lot.
But hey, listen, I'm totally fine with that because
Yeah.
I'm absorbing all of this. Because we're in the moment, right? So I absorb as much as I can, and then I go back when I'm on my way to bed at night, and I watch am I keeping you up?
No, I just had fun what's going on.
Oh, so my dog was barking during my interview, and I came to sit out here. Oh, no, it's me. It's my loud voice. I'm sorry. My interview's almost done, so I won't be up too much longer. I'm sorry. Waking up the neighbors.
Do it. I mean, I've been doing it.
I have to say though, I've been in this building for 4 years, and the man that I just spoke with, I've lived next door to for 4 years, and he is one of the most wonderful human beings I have ever met. He's very humble, very polite. He's very old school, which I love.
I gotta give it to my neighbors.
Yeah, well, we're very lucky. We live in a building with 108 apartments.
Wow.
And everybody that lives in this building are respectful. Like there's some, like, I mean, I'm a single mom with 2 kids. I'm a yeller sometimes, and
Yeah.
there's another single mom across the hall from me and she's a yeller. So,
Yeah.
But for the most part, like everybody in this building looks out for each other. We all care about each other. We all, if somebody needs help with the groceries, or myself and my kids, when it snows, we bring our shovels outside and we dig out all the handicap spaces.
There you go. I mean, I have to give it to the neighbors that I was living around when I was recording for Alterna. I mean, they upstairs was single mom, 1 kid, saw her on the weekend. Downstairs was a family of 4, newborn baby, so, and 8-year-old daughter. Anyway, Sophie and Sophie and Sylvain were my basement neighbors, and they were the reason this is doable today.
That's awesome.
Because they would literally go out of their way, give me time. They would say, you have 4 hours. We'll be out of here from 3 to 7. You got 4 hours every day for the rest of the month to get this shit done.
Gotta love those neighbors.
And
Gotta love those neighbors.
I still will get in my car after a long day and go hang out with them just to have a cigarette,
Yep.
Just to have a coffee and a smoke, like because they are those people. Like they've busted. I'm telling you, I was such a shit disturber that they would bust into my apartment in the middle of the night, break in because of how loud I was being, run inside, tell me to shut the fuck up, or also call the cops on me.
Mm-hmm.
The next day, you know,
Yep.
hey Bo, are you hungry? You know,
Yeah. Well, they were keeping you in
dinner?
line.
Yeah, she
They're-
was.
they're-
She was pretty much. I mean, Sophie, my basement neighbor, was totally like my mom at the
Mhm.
time. You know, she said she will say that. She will say like, I see that kid as my son. You know,
Mhm.
and you know,
Community village is important.
my mama that I live with is my one and only. But I mean, for that time, that period of time when I was all fucked up, you know, I don't want to. There was times I didn't want my mom to see me that way. So
We all have an alternate mom.
yeah,
A mom that was there, that stood in for the mom that we didn't want to see us in those moments,
exactly. And
right?
I mean, my mom was straight up. She's a cop. Like she is a cop. Yep, she's a police officer, and
You're a ballsy one, eh?
I am a little bit. I'm a little bit of a
Wow.
shit disturber, but mom would fucking she didn't give no fucks. I was living on my own, you know, paying my bills. She didn't give no fucks. If I fucked up, she was in my house giving me a blast of shit.
Good.
No, so I
We
mean,
need more parents like that, damn it.
yeah, we do, because you know, without her, I would not be able to like, you know, have this thing going on, right?
Yeah.
Like if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be, you know, building an apartment in her basement for my child.
That's amazing.
You
My
know,
hats off to your mom.
oh fuck,
Good.
she's been there since day one.
That's amazing.
Always
That's
has.
fantastic.
She may not be into the music we make, but she's so
Whatever.
supportive. She
Yeah, that's what matters.
she will still buy the ticket. She will still go, and she will still support no matter what. She's the best.
Yep.
You know.
I just did a show on Saturday night, and not one band mom was on the list. Every one of them paid their $20 to get into the show, and it warms my heart.
Every
It
time.
does, because we don't get anywhere if we don't support, right?
Exactly. And I always say to my mom, like, I said to her about Algonquin, right? I was like, Mom, we're playing our first like big time show. Like we're playing at Algonquin, and like this is a place where, you know, the Trues, fucking July Talk just came back from playing at Algonquin.
Mm-hmm.
So we're opening for this singer that, you know, everyone in Ottawa knows. I don't know if you've ever heard of Complicit.
Yep.
We're opening for the singer of Complicit.
That's awesome.
And
congratulations. That's
thank
cool.
you. We got this sick hookup from my buddy Eli, who goes to school at Algonquin.
That's wicked.
And, you know, I went to Mom and I said, listen, we got this huge show that you got to come to. Like, I will get you in. And she said, fuck that. I am paying the ticket. I
That's
am
right.
going to the show and everyone is coming. Like, this is
Yep.
a big deal, man. Like, she won't listen to the tunes we make. She likes when I play the acoustic guitar with the
Yep.
with the slow singing voice, and that's her thing. You know, she's a country music lady. And
my daughter's a pop singer, so I understand.
my mom loves indie. She loves country music. Not the biggest fan of screamo, but she's no matter what.
But she loves her kid, and that's important.
And she supports, and she's always there. So
that's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, I have one more question for you because we have 58 seconds left.
Oh my goodness.
Before we hit our 1 hour. It's not going to cut us off, but I like to hit the 1 hour mark and then shoot the shit with you and backstage for a little bit. So I have one more music question for you. And I've been holding on to this since the beginning. So I feel like I need an award for this shit, especially with the ADHD.
We'll send you a CD for it.
Oh, you guys are fucking amazing. How did you come up with the name Alterna? I almost lost it. How did you come up with the name?
So before Alterna, we were Killfix, which shitty ass name. stupid hair metal name. I know.
You,
I
you
was
watched it
playing
with the
music
hair
with a
metal,
shit-
you.
yeah, exactly. I was playing music with a shitty hair metal guy. You know what I mean? So now you know where all that stuff's coming from.
Yeah,
Eh?
yeah.
Yeah.
Now I know why you got all that angst inside you.
Yeah. Alterna was, I mean, it's pretty funny. I mean, I got a few guys that wanted to play in a band, and I mean, one of them ended up saying, "Well, this is a pretty alternative solution," and
There
fucking,
it is.
and then Buddy came back and was like, I really like the name Alterna,
That's
and
cool.
that's where it comes from. His name's Aiden, and that's where that's where the band names comes from.
I love it.
He also
That's
ended up
awesome.
making our logo, and he never ended up playing music with us. But I mean, he came
No,
up with a
I
band name.
mean, I guess he's
So
indirectly a part of the band. He came up with some shit for you, so.
he was supposed to be.
Oh, well,
He was
cool.
supposed to be our bass player. He just never ended up coming to practice. So I was like, all right, fuck it. We have a band name and we got a cool logo.
And we still don't have a bassist.
We still don't have a bassist, and I don't think we plan on having one.
Well, you know what? That's what sets you apart from the rest.
We got
And don't lose that about you guys. Don't lose that part that makes you different from everybody else.
with enough effects pedals, we're pretty cool. Like we've got the heavy stuff.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So we are going to see you at Bland's Boxing in Welland on Saturday at 2 p.m., March 16th.
Yeah.
Everybody better be there. I'm going to do my best to be there before the War Machine show, which is happening at the Rock Pile, also on March 16th.
And that's at the Rock Pile?
Yeah.
Is that in Toronto?
Yeah. It's on Dundas. 55.
Send me a link to that show.
I will.
Okay,
Absolutely.
perfect.
Absolutely. That's going to be such a fun fucking show. And War Machine
we
hasn't
need
played
to
together in almost
party.
6 years.
Yeah,
Pardon?
we need to party after the show, right? Like,
Well, I mean, if you jump on the highway at the right time, I will see you at the Rock Pile, and I believe it's $25 or $30 at the door.
That's not bad at all.
But we don't know when this is going to happen again, right? And Super Chucker is opening, as well as Piss Rug and Liquor Pigs.
Liquor Pigs and
It's
Piss.
like
I need to see Piss Rug. I need to see Piss Rug. I like that name.
They're kids. They're young like you guys.
Really?
Maybe younger. They're engineering students, I believe, and that's where they came up with the name Zephyr Diode.
Wow.
And they're playing. I believe Piss Rug was their name previous to that name.
I like
and I think both names are great. And honestly, if they adapt both names, I think that would be fucking cool. Especially if they're playing the same music. That would confuse the shit out of people, and people would love it at the same time.
Just like Cancer Bats.
Yeah.
Well, Cancer Bats did a whole tour as Bat Sabbath, where they did a tribute show, to Black Sabbath, and now they're on as Cancer Bats.
I know. I got to see them with Cypress Hill this summer.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I did. Cypress Hill, Billy Talent, and Cancer Bats.
I love Cancer Bats so much, and I am dying to see them live.
They're a wild show.
I know. It looks so cool.
Show.
They're so DIY, right? Like they're so like we don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see they did a cover of Sabotage by the Beastie Boys?
Yes, they played it live when they did the show, and it was one of the best covers I've ever heard. I'm very picky with my covers, and it was fucking wild.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, let's kick everybody else out so we can have the rest of this conversation.
All right.
And I can get the dog out of her bed and go back in the house. So on that note, this is Amanda from Sofa City Sound sitting in the hallway, because that's how professional we are right now. Bland's Boxing, 2 p.m. Saturday. Alterna's playing. They're playing with Shit Happens. So fucking be there. We'll see you next week with Mortal Fall. That's going to be a fun fucking show.